Yeah, good evening, everybody. I'm I'm starting the live early because I'm doing because today there is a today I'm going to be today I'm go today I'm going to be doing something with the family. Um, some yeah this is why I'm starting the live so early. But yeah, I want to go ahead and um take this time to welcome everyone to the live. Um, as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and show you a video of a woman who is defending P Diddy, and for the life of me, I really do not know. I don't know why there are people who are defending P Diddy after what has been said, and I heard there were more victims coming out, and this is just it. It's wild. It's wild. How can you defend someone like how can you defend P Diddy who who decided to do what he did? But yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and show the video. Let me go ahead and find it real quick. And then and then you know this is just, to me, I'm just going to say it. It's really insane. It it really is, because it turns out what people were saying, because it's just, again, it's wild, and it it's just, again, I really, at the end of the day, I really don't know what to say. But again, maybe controversial Shannon is right, you know, because I saw the same video that he did, and again, it's it's just it's just wild. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play the video right here.
Thing that I forgot to mention the other day when I was talking about the Diddy situation. You already know how I feel. I feel like New to y'all had a ball, y'all took pictures, y'all posted, y'all told your friends, y'all felt like y'all was on top of the world, y'all was going on vacations, and then for whatever reason now you money anyway. Whether it be because he cut you off, whether it be because he's not hitting you up no more, whether it be because you feel like a goofy because you didn't get nothing out of it, whatever it be, it's like going. But outside of that, I gotta say, you laughing, making jokes. Number one, Diddy is such a just kind person in general that he would have probably opened his home to you. Some of y'all have probably been at them freak offs, which really are parties. If we're really, they're rich people parties. Okay, stop calling them freak offs. They're rich people parties. If the feds and whatever else want to call them freak offs, that's on them. But at the end of the day, they're rich white men do attorneys, doctors, real estate moguls, finance guys, all, brokers, all type of rich white men do this time. But because Diddy is black and of high status, of course, he's not allowed to do the same thing that rich white men do. He's not allowed to indulge in the same behavior, parties, lifestyle, etc. that rich white men do. It's fucking twisted. It's really fucking twisted, and it's sad. It's sad to watch someone or someone who's a mogul for the black community, in the black community, who speaks very highly of the black community and tries to instill growth and excellence and black excellence and preaches it and preaches love. And he's getting only the feds and the people filing lawsuits, but his people, his community. And it's like, y'all are making a mockery of it. And I see it. I see y'all's posts. And some of y'all are black men of high status or in the same, not maybe in the same financial position, but a high economic advantage or high financial status. It could be y'all tomorrow. And y'all are laughing and making a mockery as if he doesn't need our support. As if it doesn't matter. This matters because the jury that's going to see this type of shit is looking at the shit, whether they say they are or not. They are. So it's like, y'all are literally making a mockery of him as if it can't be you tomorrow. And it should be some of you dirt are really girls and really having to spike women's drinks and force them and make them do drugs. Some of y'all are really having to do. Diddy's not. Like, I just, that bad. Why do you think that he needs to spike your or make you do drugs? Willingly took them drugs.
I'm sorry, I can't watch no more of that foolishness. I mean, it amazes me how it it amazes me how controversial Shannon can, can watch all all of that video. That right there, that right there tells me everything I need to know. And it, what it also tells me is this too. You're gonna have people out there who defend stuff like, the Diddy parties and everything else. I believe whether you're black or white, if you did something wrong, you should be held accountable. But again, we have people out here who, you know, want to go ahead and, you know, support support men like Diddy, man. And the worst thing about it is, they saying, oh, it's because he's a black man. But she did not see, apparently she did not see, all the evidence that's against Diddy. And it's again, and I heard that Tupac's family is, you know, well, I heard that Tupac's family, their lawyer, they they are trying to see if Diddy was the mastermind about, well, they try to see if he's the mastermind of the plot to unalive Tupac. And not only that, but there are rumors that he was also involved in the unaliving of the notorious B.I.G. And again, there are people coming out against Diddy. Men and women who are promised, you know, everything within their career. And I believe there will be more coming out. I believe there will be more coming out. And again, like I said, the memes are not of Diddy. They're not going to stop anytime soon. And the moment he is found guilty, yeah, the memes are going to continue. It really does amaze. It really amazes me how anybody can be defending Diddy at this point. It really does amaze me. But yeah, that's I wanted to show y'all that. Um, you know, again, like I said, I believe that, if someone does a crime, people, that certain person, individual, should be held accountable. But yeah, on to the other topic, and and this one I was well, I said this last night on controversial Shannon's podcast. Uh, what I said, what I said was this: there is a red pill to excusing men's bad behavior pipeline. There is, and at the at the end of day, the the I would say the main point I want to get, you know, out there. The, like the main point that I want to get out there today is the women to it's the women who excuse men's bad behavior and everything. But yeah, and right now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you a video of a woman who is talking about this, and you know at the end of the day, um I'm gonna have to agree with the woman that's saying that, you know uh, that we need to stop excusing men's bad behavior. I'm gonna go ahead and show you that video right now as well.
That was left on the video where the young man was saying, F the mama, F the baby. He didn't want to have anything to do with either one of them. There is always a woman somewhere defending a man's bad behavior. And usually it's they sorry ass mamas because they raise these sorry ass sons to go out in the world and basically terrorize everybody. They're terrorizing women and they're terrorizing the children. We need to do better. This
Yeah, so that was the video, and the thing is, she's right. She's right. I have no um I don't disagree with her. I really don't, because again, men's like how do I put it this way? Women who listen to the red pill, they do defend men's bad behavior. It is what it is, especially within the black community as well. They defend men's bad behavior. And like I said in that video, the woman who said what she said, she's not wrong. She's not. At the end of the day, let let's admit, women have to stop excusing men's bad behavior. It it has to stop because now they're out here terrorizing women, and all of a sudden you have women who want to defend that person. This either and I'm like this. It just like I said about you know in the first topic. If a man does something wrong, he should be held accountable. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But I'm now understanding what's really going on. Cause it seems though as like the black women who listen to red pill content who believe all they they're just out to get the black man, this and that. They celebrate it. They celebrate when it's a white man. When it's a white man that gets held accountable. But when it's a black man, when it's a black man, all of a sudden, oh, they try and take down a black man. They try and take down a powerful African American man. At the end of the day, I'm starting to believe that maybe maybe Candace Owens was right about the black community defending those who do wrong. Maybe they're right. Maybe she's right about it. But it's a certain group of black women that are doing it. And it's those who are listening to the red pill and those who have a mammy and a mule complex. Those are the black women who are doing this. And and the main thing I'm trying to say is Porcro, the women who are against mammying and all for the African American man, maybe they're right. Maybe they were right to begin with. And again, it's it's sad to say it, but the women um who've been saying this for a long time,
Um,
huh,
who've been saying
yeah,
this for
they were legitimately telling the truth. But yeah, I I apologize for that. My um they are, yeah. Um Again, I apologize for the noise in the background. Um but yeah, that was again, like I said, if somebody does the crime, they need to be held accountable. You know, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm go to I'm gonna go to the news real quick. Um, I'm gonna go ahead to some other news real quick, and as of right now, this news it goes to now. I understand that there are cases where missing black women, you know, are still not found, and or there are cold cases of black women that haven't been solved and is still unsolved. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and because again, there are there are a lot of missing black women out here, and I'm gonna go ahead and play the first one for you. Hang on.
This is Janela Williams. She's been missing since July the 24th of 2024. She was last seen at 1500 block of Blanding Boulevard in Hunter's Run apartment community, which is in Middleburg, Florida. She is only 15 years old. The circumstances of her disappearance is unknown. However, she is labeled as a runaway. I wanted to emphasize that although she is a runaway, she is still a child, and even runaway children are kidnapped. Janela is described to be black. She's a medium complexion, 5'6", weighing approximately 132 pounds. If you've seen her or you believe you've seen her, we urge you to please call 911 or contact the Clay County Sheriff Department directly at 904-264-6512. This is Janela Williams.
Yeah.
This story left.
But yeah, and I'm gonna show y'all some more. Um, because this is this is legitimately sad at this point. I'm gonna show two more, and then I'm gonna get on to other stories. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just this is just I'm going to say this is just messed up in several million ways. We got the fact that there are cases of missing black women that hasn't been solved. It's like, yo, at the end, it's crazy. I mean, because their cases should have been solved a long time ago, but you know, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play this one too. That short video was about LaTanya Roberts. She was 22 years old when she vanished in 1994. And she has, and she went, I believe, when I read about it, she went missing on December 14th, 1994 in Orlando, Florida. And I believe that, you know, these stories are important because at the end of the day, there are still those who still have missing loved ones out there who didn't, I mean, who want to see, justice uh, for their loved ones, and who wants to, and who wants the justice system to find their loved one. But yeah, um, that was the new. In real time, I hope that one day the justice system will be fixed, and they're able to solve they're able to solve all the cases of you know the missing black women and children. So I want to bring awareness to that again. um Now I'm going to show you all um a a news story, and it's a really good I would say it's a really good story. um I'm I want to eh, get those out of the way. But you know let me see if I can find. Give me a moment, everyone. I'm trying to see if I can find the. Ah, trying to find positive news stories is it's hard to do. Because I wanted to show you guys this. Um, well, looks like I ain't gonna be able to show it. But yeah, there are positive things out here. Um, it's like to me, it's a it's a it's a, hang on me hang on. Let me go ahead and Let me go ahead and see. Now I found a news story of Ketanji Brown Jackson. Um, she is speaking on electing a black woman as president. I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you right now.
The first major party candidate who is a black woman. What would that mean to have a woman as president, a black woman as president?
Well, I'm going to stay out of politics, as justices tend to do. I think, again, a first in general tends to mean progress. It tends to mean that we've moved from a situation in which people have been excluded or prevented from achieving and are now in a realm in which everyone can be anything they want to be. And of course, the goal is to be in a society where we're no longer recognizing firsts because it's not necessary. But for now, as we move along, it's an exciting thing to many people when a new first happens, whatever it is.
And I want to say that Kamala is biracial. So yeah, she's not she's not fully black, but again, but yeah, I understand what she was saying and everything, but yeah, I have no opinion about this story, but yeah, I also want to go ahead and share another story.
Abortion.
Here we go.
Abortion is healthcare. We've been repeating that fact, and it is a fact on this show a lot lately, as we've shared the stories of women whose health, fertility, and lives have been threatened by abortion bans. If you're a regular viewer of the show, you know about Amanda Zarowski, who spent 3 days in the ICU after being denied care when complications in her intended pregnancy threatened her life and her health. You know about Brianna Cecil, who, after being forced to delay care and leave her home state, says she ended up in emergency surgery that cost her an ovary, a fallopian tube, and her hopes of having a large family. You know about Kelsey Norris de la Cruz, who was denied treatment for an ectopic pregnancy, which is deadly for the woman if left untreated and never results in a viable pregnancy. You know about Caitlin Cash, who was delayed life-saving postpartum care because the procedure to stop her from hemorrhaging is the same one that's used in abortions. If you've been watching this show, you know these stories and others like them. But this week, we learned about two new stories. This week, ProPublica introduced us to Amber Nicole Thurman and Candy Miller, two black mothers who were taken from their children, whose preventable deaths would not have happened if not for Georgia's draconian abortion ban. The story of these two women is crucial as we dismantle the lies of the anti-abortion movement and face the deadly reality unleashed by Donald Trump's Supreme Court. Because if you have been paying attention, you know that abortion is health care. And you know that it cannot be banned without threatening the health, well-being, fertility, and lives of women. But for black women in this country, their health and well-being is already statistically worse. Maternal mortality rates are higher, and the incidence of high-risk pregnancy is greater. And so the threat posed by an abortion ban is even more acute. The politics surrounding abortion and reproductive freedom have always played out differently in black communities. The difference is largely rooted in structural racism, which shapes major aspects of black life in America, from education and politics to the economy and healthcare. Black women's reproductive health cannot be divorced from these broader realities confronting black women and their families. One report found that maternal mortality rate in states with bans was significantly higher than the rest of the country among black women. Even the situation was even worse, with the black maternal mortality rate 2.6 times higher than that of white women. The response from the anti-abortion movement has been to point to church-funded crisis pregnancy centers, which use deceptive practices to lure women away from real health care providers and foster care as alternatives to abortion. But critics say these solutions are rife with hypocrisy and ignore the legacy of racism. Karen Attiah of the Washington Post wrote about the effects in Texas, arguably the epicenter of post-Roe dystopian America, just after Roe was overturned in 2022. Quote, "Indeed, white supremacy believes it is right to force birth on black women, while also being far quicker to conclude that black parents are incapable of taking care of their children. Black people are more likely to be accused of child abuse and neglect in Texas. Black children in Texas are taken away at higher rates by Child Protective Services. Black children also remain longer in the foster care system than white children. Expect all that to worsen now." Fake pretended concern for women and babies is a foundational lie of the anti-abortion movement, but an even uglier version of this lie that targets black women. For years, the anti-abortion movement has specifically zeroed in on the fact that black women, who again are also experiencing structural racism in the medical industry and higher rates of maternal mortality and pregnancy risk factors, tend to also have higher abortion rates. And instead of advocating any policy that might help black women live safer and healthier lives, the anti-abortion movement has twisted higher abortion rates among black women for use in cynical and manipulative slogans in their campaign to deny black women ownership over their own bodies. You see, they say, as a rallying cry, that abortion is black genocide. This is a piece of racist, paternalistic propaganda that has been seized on by the broader anti-abortion movement in recent years, but it goes back decades to the 1960s, before Roe was even decided, when many black people rightly distrusted the government, including the government's taxpayer-funded birth control clinics, which were viewed by the Black Power movement as part of a conspiracy to lower the black birth rate and limit black political power. This ideological battle over black women's bodies played out against a backdrop where black and poor women were being disproportionately harmed and killed by anti-abortion laws. A study based in New York City in the 1960s found that 80% of the deaths caused by septic abortions, a serious infection of the uterus following an abortion or miscarriage, involved black and Puerto Rican women. In Georgia, between 1965 and 1967, the black maternal death rate was 14 times that of white women. Writing for The New Yorker, renowned historian and activist Keeanga Yamahtta Taylor notes, quote, "During this period, nurses reported that sticks, rocks, chopsticks, ballpoint pens, coat hangers, or knitting needles were administered to terminate pregnancies. For these women, access to abortion was not abstract. It was a matter of life and death. It still is a matter of life and death. And in Black communities, women are once again resisting this paternalistic rhetoric, including reproductive justice attorney Sharissa Dobbins, who in a powerful rebuttal argues, quote, condemning Black women that chose abortion helps all of these actors avoid taking any responsibility for the toxic environment that Black mothers must choose to deliver their infants into. Denouncing and attempting to deny us our agency will only slow the liberation of all of us. We are not, nor have we ever been, mere vessels to birth your revolutionaries. We are the revolution.
Ooh, that right there, yeah, that right there, you know, that caught me off guard right there. Um, and again, I think it's important as well, because at the end of the day, I believe that Black women deserve autonomy over their bodies. Like, at this point, enough is enough with the propaganda, you know, and I agree with him. Um, I agree with what was said in there, but and here's the thing. When it comes to the maternity leave when it comes to, you know, and I also I also understand that there are Black women who pass away from childbirth and everything. I understand that. I think that needs to be talked about more, and I also think Black femicide needs to be at the forefront now. And you know, that's my opinion on that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and you know, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and you know what I'm saying. But yeah, um, after but yeah, at the end of the day, um, I'm just going to say, you know, out of everything, you know, But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play another one, and here we go.
Switch gears a bit to the topic of Black bodies. There is so much joy in our bodies and also so much pain inflicted upon them historically and even now. So I want to pose a question to all of you about Black women and our bodies because, obviously we're not a monolith. We're not all the same. We look at ourselves differently, but how do you feel we're doing in terms of embracing our bodies? I mean, we have a lot of folks out there now. We've got Lizzo. We got folks who are, all off, the typical spectrum of what we see. But how do we make peace and feel good about our bodies in a society that doesn't always value curves and the way we look and skin color, dark skin color? What would you say, Marlene?
Yeah, so I think it starts in our household. So what were we told growing up as children? So I know for me, I grew up in a Haitian household. So as a young girl growing up, it was always keep your body covered. And when I started to have curves, it was like you have to hide it. So you can't go to work with a pair of jeans on and a t-shirt. You have to wear a long cardigan so you can cover your behind.
So everything was about modesty.
Yes, it was all about modesty. And also too, I grew up in a religious household too with that. So it was all about modesty, stay covered. No one should see your body. And so the shame around body or wearing a two-piece. And I remember getting stretch marks and feeling like, oh my gosh, I have stretch marks. Do I need to use makeup to cover my stretch marks? Or should I just wear a sheer top over my bathing suit so no one sees it? But what I can appreciate now with our society is that we're seeing a lot more positivity around our body images. So we're finding that, like you mentioned, Lizzo is proud queen, and I love it. I love how bold she is. Not only that, I think it's helping younger girls that are growing up in today's society because young girls, they struggle with their self-esteem, their body image.
Right.
So this allows them to see that you can embrace all of who you are.
But what I worry about, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but what I worry about though is that we also do have a problem in our community, right? With diabetes and, not being healthy. And it's one thing to embrace your body, but I think we also have to give the message about, being healthy, looking after ourselves. LaShawn, you and I follow each other on Instagram and, I see you out there working out and I try to work out. But I think the embracing the body is important, but also getting the message. I mean, how do we balance that?
I think it's the number one thing is to know your numbers, to know what your numbers are, if you know your issue, know your health issues, and be mindful of that. As even though we may have fuller figured women in our communities, and I love a curvy woman. I think women with the body, I think we all look so beautiful. But I think that knowing your numbers and knowing what your health, how important it is that you stay active, that's the main thing. You can be full figured and still have healthy numbers.
I think they're two separate conversations too. Like I think health versus your body, your body being voluptuous, two different things. Right. Like I watched Lizzo on a stage run down 20 stairs and play the flute. I can't do that. I can't do that. I follow a lot of yogis and there are women who are relatively large who can do headstands. Exactly. Can't do that. Exactly. So I think the conversation about our health is a real one. Right. But there are skinny women who eat potato chips every day and who are not healthy. That is true. So I think if we can separate that, because we have to realize too, there's a whole culture of women who are not us, who are paying to look like us. They're getting things injected in places and they're trying to do the thing. And it's, so we can love and value our bodies. We should, because there was a time, as you talk about in history, when that was not respected, when it was actually objectified in a bad way.
Yes.
But we can also talk about health too as a separate conversation.
Well, that is a different conversation. But then there's a serious conversation too, which is the over sexualization of Black girls, right? Yes. And who are seen as older, who are adultified, and who are not seen as vulnerable, even though they are girls. And we've seen it even in violent situations with the young girl who was killed in Ohio, I think it was, and they talked about her as being a woman and she was 16. So what about the idea of, young women who are seen as adults? And that happens more often in the Black community. I guess
it does.
And that's part of the silence we don't talk about. Absolutely. I'm a victim of childhood sexual assault, and I don't talk about it a lot, but I talk about when it's important. And so many young girls have experienced that. So many women have experienced some type of sexual assault, whether it was in the home or outside of the home or in the family or outside of the family. I think one of the things we have to talk about is, one, the victim blaming that happens in that, this idea that if our girls are, showing themselves or being body positive, it's their fault. We have to make sure they know it's not their fault. And we have to talk about the male culture that believes that if a woman has a shirt on that's low cut, you have permission. You don't. And that no is no, always no.
That's right.
So we have to make sure that we're not shifting the blame to women or girls because they are expressing themselves if something bad happens to them. We also have to teach our girls how to protect themselves, right? And how to be prepared in any situation and how not to blame themselves if something does happen to them. Because I think that can happen as well.
Right.
And so I think we have to be very careful about that line.
But did you have any thoughts about that, about young girls, though?
Yeah, absolutely. Because there was a research that was done around adultification at Georgetown, and they talked about it. Girls as young as 5 years old that are being adultified by adult figures. They feel like we need less protection, that we know more information about sexual content. We're being hypersexualized. So we have this either mammy figure where we're the mother and we're taking care of other people, the sapphire or the Jezebel. So is she aggressive? Is she hypersexualized? And so people in schools, churches, communities, they look at Black girls as not needing protection. So like you mentioned, even in articles where if a young girl who's under 18, they're identifying her in an article as a woman, it's like, no, this is a child. Or the young girl that was being policed in New York City, I believe upstate New York, where the family called, it was a crisis call, a mental health crisis call, and more than 6 cop cars showed up. And one of the cops said to this young girl who's under 12, stop acting like a child.
Oh,
and she said,
she is a child.
She said, but I am a child. And they were ready to tase her. And they had her pinned down to the ground. So you see a lot of this happen in schools because a lot of schools do have school resource officers rather than having more mental health professionals in the school. And you find that more Black girls are being, criminalized in schools.
Suspended?
Yes. They're Black girls are 6 to 7 times more likely to be suspended in school compared to white girls for the same exact behaviors.
Yeah.
But yet you find that we're the ones that are being in trouble because we're not allowed to be assertive. We're not allowed to be upset. We're not allowed to be angry. Perhaps she has anxiety. Perhaps there's a traumatic event that just occurred in her life, but no one looks at that because we're supposed to be strong, keep moving as if nothing happened in our lives.
And it's obviously just tragic. LaShawn, I want to ask you about the stereotype though, and you're in theater and movies and television and all that. It drives me crazy when I see a commercial and I see the sassy Black woman. It drives me crazy. and clearly that is just a stereotype, but have you encountered that in terms of trying to fight that? And I know you were just in a play on Broadway you were so proud of that, that really talked about sort of the experience of, Black women. But how hard is that for you fighting stereotypes that are thrust upon Black women?
It's so interesting that you asked that question because there have always been stereotypes within our community. But in the arts specifically, I deal with colorism. When the darker skinned woman is considered, she may not be the love interest. She may not be the one that needs caring. She usually, and in my career, I have played victims. I've played women who've been subjugated predominantly. And I find that is the number one battle I've had to fight is how people see me and where they think I fit. And in theater and in film and television, the darker skinned women are always given positions more often than not of someone who's being hurt or someone who is dealing with drug addiction, but never the celebrated, beautiful, lovely woman that people are admiring. That's why when Lupita Nyong'o in Black Panther was put in that role, I was I was thrilled. I was screaming. I was so excited about it because she was breaking a stereotype, that we've all had to experience in our industry. This issue, this idea that a darker woman can't be the object of affection, and that's something that I've struggled with quite a bit.
Viola Davis has had big statements about that, and I've been so proud of her and her stand on so much of this too. So it is definitely something that we all have to deal with. Well, we're going to take another break in just a minute because we can just talk and talk and talk, but we do have to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to look at how Black women navigate many of the systems that affect our daily lives, from infrastructure to healthcare. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I under uh I'm gonna say this. I understand what they were saying, and and I legitimately believe that after I do believe that there are you know bu- that black women you know are over sexualized, and everything within that video I agree with, and again, like at this point in time, I understand what black women are going through. I really do. um yeah, I understand. And for the for the I would say for the final for the final uh for the final news stories. Well, I'm gonna say for the final one, I'm gonna go ahead and share another one. Share another one. Many stories here. See. And I'm just going to say I'm going to say this because I definitely believe now that But black femicide needs to be talked about way a lot more, and also I believe that more should be done. About cases where there are missing black women, and and black women who have been unalived by their significant other. But yeah, I'm gonna show you this one last I'm gonna show you the one last news story, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end the live right now.
Really interesting going on right now. It's a surge in voter registration in key groups ahead of the November election. Among young black women, registration is up more than 175%. You heard that right. More than 175% in 13 states. That's compared to the same time in 2020. This, according to the data firm TargetSmart. Registration has also increased among young Latinas and Black Americans. It's incredibly unusual to see changes in voter registration that are anywhere close to this. I mean, to remind people, 175% is almost tripling of registration rates among this specific group. You just don't see that sort of thing happen in elections normally. Tracking something real.
And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say this. It's good that young black women are registering to vote, and you know, I believe that at the end of the day, I believe that I believe that the undecided voters, or well, I would say the independents and the ones that's in the middle of the political spectrum will be the ones who will decide this election. And I I I believe it's great to see more black women registering to vote. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live stream right here. Again, I want to thank everyone for coming to the live. Make sure to like, comment, and share this video. And because I believe that, and uh, this video needs to combat, the red pill and manosphere, and also, you know, the stuff that's going on right now. I think more people need to listen to what's going on, and not listen to what's going on when it comes to black femicide and everything, and not, not, just, you know, make it, and not try to paint black women in a bad light. I believe if this video gets into the algorithm, I believe we'll be able to counter the the black manosphere. I believe that, but yeah, I want to say, and if you have black women in your family who needs to hear this video, share it with them. Just share it with them, and make and and also and also uh, make sure to subscribe to the channel and make sure you get notifications of when I'm going live. And until and I will see you all next week. And I will be going live on on October 19th. Um, but yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming, and again, I want to say love, peace, and happiness, and stay dust free. And black women, make sure you protect yourselves out here, because because again, stories of black women going missing, those are real stories. Some of them are have been missing for a long time, like the story of Tanya Tame. But yeah, she's been missing since December 22nd, 1994. And I want to go ahead and say this. I pray that they do find her, and so the family can finally get closure. But yeah, again, I want to thank y'all for coming, and until again, until next time, love, peace, and happiness, and I will see y'all again next week. Peace, everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and try to find the outro music real quick. Here's the outro music.